Imagine standing on a crowded subway platform in the heart of the Bronx, shivering in the New York winter, with nothing but a dream and a pair of worn-out dance shoes. Fast forward a few decades, and that same girl is sitting on a global throne with a staggering net worth of over $400 million. How does that even happen? Seriously, how do you go from riding the 6 train to owning the entire world of entertainment? Today, we are diving deep into the whirlwind life of the one and only Jennifer Lopez. She isn't just a celebrity, she's a modern-day legend. Whether she's shutting down the red carpet in a green dress that literally forced the invention of Google Images, or running a multi-million-dollar business empire, J.Lo is everywhere. She's a fashion icon, a movie star, and a mogul who seems to have discovered the fountain of youth. But before the glitz, the glam, and the private islands, she was just Jenny. Born to Puerto Rican parents, Guadalupe and David, Jennifer grew up on Castle Hill Avenue in a house where the hustle was the only language spoken. Her parents worked incredibly hard to provide for her and her sisters, but Jennifer always had her eyes on something much bigger. She wanted the spotlight, and she wanted it bad. You've heard the song Jenny from the Block, right? Well, she wasn't kidding. Those streets shaped her grit and her fire. She spent her nights at dance studios and her days dreaming of a way out. Did you know she even slept on a cot in her dance studio for a while because her mom didn't want her to pursue show business? Now that is what I call pure, unadulterated dedication. Her first real taste of the big leagues came when she landed a spot as a fly girl on the iconic sketch comedy show In Living Color. Can you picture it? Those high-energy dance routines, the 90s fashion, and that infectious energy. It was the perfect training ground for what was to come. But she didn't stop there, not even for a second. Soon, she was touring as a backup dancer for New Kids on the Block and even the legendary Janet Jackson. Most people would have been satisfied just being in the background of a Janet Jackson video, but not Jen. She knew she was destined for center stage, and she wasn't going to let anyone tell her otherwise. Then came the moment that changed her life forever. In 1997, Hollywood was looking for someone to portray the late, great Tejano singer Selena Quintanilla. Thousands of actresses auditioned in a frenzy that the media couldn't get enough of. It was easily the most competitive casting call in Hollywood history, but Jennifer had that it factor. She didn't just play Selena, she inhabited her. That role didn't just make her a household name, it made her the first Latina actress to ever earn $1 million for a single film. Talk about breaking glass ceilings. But wait, because the 2000s were even wilder. In 2001, Jennifer did something absolutely mind-blowing that no other woman had ever achieved. She had the #1 movie in the country with The Wedding Planner and the #1 album with J.Lo during the exact same week. Let that sink in for a moment. She was the queen of the box office and the queen of the music charts simultaneously. It was a historical milestone that solidified her status as a true triple threat. People started realizing that Jennifer Lopez wasn't just a trend, she was a force of nature. Of course, with that kind of fame comes an intense level of public scrutiny. This was when the world became obsessed with her personal life, leading to the birth of the Bennifer phenomenon. The media circus was unlike anything we had ever seen. Every move she made was analyzed by millions. Before we continue this journey through her incredible life, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. It makes you wonder, did she really just get lucky? Or is this the result of the most calculated and intense work ethic in Hollywood history? I'm leaning toward the hustle. We've seen the diamonds and the #1 hits, but the road wasn't always smooth. Just as she was reaching the peak, a series of scandals threatened to derail everything she had built. Before she could truly become the icon we know today, she had to survive a night that would haunt her reputation for years. What really happened during that infamous nightclub drama? Stay tuned because it's about to get even more intense. To understand how she survived that nightclub scandal and the media firestorm, you have to understand her mindset. Jennifer didn't just want to be a star, she wanted to be the blueprint. She effectively mastered the triple threat formula, proving you could be the lead in a rom-com on Friday and the top of the Billboard charts on Monday. This wasn't just about ego, it was a revolution. Before J.Lo, the industry tried to put artists in boxes. You were either a serious actress or a pop singer. Jennifer looked at those boxes and kicked them over. By doing so, she cleared a massive path for future icons like Beyonce and Rihanna. If they can run multi-billion-dollar empires today, it's because Jen showed the world it was possible to do it all at once without losing your cool. But let's be real, while her career was skyrocketing, her love life was becoming the world's favorite soap opera. First, there was Ojani Noah, A waiter turned husband, but that ended almost as soon as it began. Then came Chris Judd, the talented dancer from her music video, but the spotlight was just too bright for that flame to last. However, nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared us for the era of Sean Puffy Combs, or P. Diddy. This was the peak of the bad boy romance. They were the king and queen of the New York scene, draped in diamonds and fur. But it all came crashing down during a terrifying night in December 1999. A shooting at a Manhattan nightclub saw Jennifer fleeing the scene and actually being arrested and handcuffed. Can you imagine the world's biggest rising star in a jail cell? It was a PR nightmare that could have ended anyone else's career, but Jennifer's resilience is legendary. She walked away from the drama and eventually the relationship, proving she could survive even the most explosive scandals. Then we entered the era that defined the early 2000s, the first Bennifer phenomenon. When Jennifer met Ben Affleck on the set of Giggly, the chemistry was so intense it practically melted the film. This wasn't just a couple, it was a cultural obsession. We were all glued to our TVs watching the Jenny from the Block music video where Ben famously kissed her on a yacht. And who could forget that massive 6 1-carat pink diamond engagement ring? It cost a cool $5 million and started a whole global trend for colored gemstones. They were supposed to be the ultimate Hollywood endgame, but the pressure of the tabloid frenzy became a monster they couldn't tame. In a move that shocked the entire world, they called off their wedding just days before the ceremony in 2003. It was the heartbreak heard round the world, leaving fans wondering if she would ever find the one, or if the fame was just too heavy a price to pay. Enter Mark Anthony. This chapter felt different, more grounded, more private, and deeply rooted in their shared Puerto Rican heritage. They weren't just a couple, they were a musical powerhouse. This era gave us her most precious roles yet, being a mom to her twins, Max and Emmy. Jennifer somehow managed to balance world tours and diaper changes, becoming the ultimate working mom icon for millions of women. During this time, she didn't just stay in her lane, she expanded it. She launched her fragrance line, Glow by J. Lo, which didn't just sell well, it completely revolutionized the celebrity perfume industry forever. Every girl in the mid-2000s wanted to smell like Jennifer. She was proving that she was more than a performer. She was a business mogul with an incredible nose for what the public wanted. As she hit her late 40s, many critics thought she might slow down, but Jennifer had other plans. She headed to the desert for a massive Las Vegas residency called All I Have. Night after night, she performed high-octane routines that would leave a 20-year-old breathless, proving that age is literally just a number if you have the discipline of a Spartan. But with that level of perfectionism came the rumors. We've all heard the diva stories, right? Reports of her demanding all-white dressing rooms, specific brands of mineral water, and a no eye contact policy for staff. Some say she's just a boss who knows what she wants, while others claim the fame has turned her into a Hollywood ice queen who is impossible to work with behind the scenes. Despite the whispers, she seemed to finally find her match in baseball legend Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod and J-Lo were the ultimate power couple, blending their families and building a massive business portfolio together. Everything looked perfect on Instagram. The private jets, the matching workouts, and the stunning sunset engagement in the Bahamas. It seemed like the Bronx girl had finally found her permanent king and a stable future. But just as she was gearing up for the biggest comeback of her life, the cracks started to show. Why did this perfect engagement crumble so suddenly right before she took the stage for the Super Bowl? Was there more going on behind the scenes than the filtered photos let on? You won't believe the twist that was coming next, because history was about to repeat itself in the most unexpected way possible. Just when we thought the story of Jennifer Lopez couldn't get any more cinematic, 2021 happened, and the world witnessed what felt like a glitch in the Hollywood matrix. Bennifer was back. The reunion with Ben Affleck didn't just trend, it dominated the global conversation for months. We saw them on yachts again. We saw the new green diamond ring, and eventually the Vegas wedding that felt like a full circle moment 20 years in the making. But was it true love found at last, or the ultimate PR masterclass? Fans were divided, but for a moment, it felt like a romantic victory. However, the fairy tale started to show some seriously public cracks as we moved into 2024. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from true love to trouble in paradise. The rumors of a looming divorce from Ben started swirling, fueled by his somber expressions at red carpet events. To make matters even more complicated, Jennifer poured $20 million of her own money into a massive, self-funded movie project called This Is Me. Now, a love story, and it was ambitious, surreal, and deeply personal, but it received incredibly mixed reviews. Critics were baffled, and some fans felt it was a bit too much self-indulgence, even for a superstar of her caliber, when she abruptly canceled her This Is Me and Live tour, citing a need to spend time with her children and family. The J-Lo fatigue reached an all-time high. This is where things get really interesting, because for the first time in her career, social media started to turn on the Queen of the Bronx. Have you noticed the shift? On TikTok, viral videos began surfacing of her unfiltered moments, with Gen Z creators scrutinizing her every move. While millennials remember her as the hardworking pioneer who broke barriers, Gen Z seems to perceive her differently, seeing her as a celebrity who is perhaps a bit out of touch with reality. They've picked apart her Jenny from the Block persona, questioning if she's still that girl from the block. Is this just cancel culture looking for its next victim, or has the public finally reached a breaking point with the constant cycle of J-Lo news? Critics often point to her legendary work ethic, wondering if her obsession with staying relevant is actually her biggest weakness. She's a self-proclaimed workaholic, always chasing the next hit, the next brand, and the next big headline. Some say she doesn't know how to just be, fearing that if she stops moving for a second, the world will forget her. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Regardless of headlines, her influence is undeniable. Jennifer Lopez didn't just walk through the doors of Hollywood, she kicked them down for an entire generation of Latin artists. She paved the way for Latinas to be seen as leading ladies, as glamorous icons, and as business powerhouses. Before her, the roles were limited and the opportunities were few. She changed the math of what a girl from the Bronx could achieve on a global scale. So what lies ahead for the woman who has done it all? Rumors are already swirling about her next move. Will she finally take her talents to Broadway for a legendary stage run? Or perhaps she'll step behind the camera permanently as a director, shaping the next generation of cinema. Some even wonder if she might finally take a quiet retreat from the spotlight to focus on her family. Whatever she chooses, the final verdict remains. Jennifer Lopez is a survivor. She has been canceled, doubted, and mocked more times than we can count, yet she always finds a way to rise from the ashes. Can J-Lo survive this current wave of negativity and reinvent herself one more time? If history has taught us anything, it's that you should never count her out. What do you think about the Bennifer 2.0 saga and the recent tour cancellation? Is she misunderstood or just overexposed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stars who define our world.